Well, hello.
Hello, Mr.
Hey.
TPR.
Is that you, GS Xmas Tree?
Yep, I'm right behind you.
Really?
And it looks like you've got, what's that on the back of your bike, a tent or something?
Well, I got some camping gear because I'm going to go to Langhorne Creek because they've got a free camping spot there and a pub very close by, so I just needed to get away. So I'm going to go there, meet a friend up at Strathalbyn, and we're going to just spend a night there and come back tomorrow.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, isn't that funny how you were just behind me like that? That's amazing.
Yeah, it's almost like we planned it.
So what's on your mind today, Mr. Xmas Tree?
Have you ever heard of The Walking Dead?
A band?
No, the TV show, The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Isn't that where the zombies
Yes,
Yeah.
Well, there's a guy on that who rides a character who rides a motorcycle everywhere. The actor, his name's Norman Reedus, and he's a motorcycle fanatic, but he's actually made a television show on motorcycles. Just rides around different countries and he meets up with other famous people and they go for rides together. So it'd be interesting to have a look at. I haven't actually seen an episode yet.
Okay.
But anyway, he was interviewed. The host was saying, oh, but motorcycles are dangerous. And he agreed. He said, yeah, they're dangerous. But it made me think, because I don't have that attitude. I don't think motorcycles are dangerous.
I'm on the other side of the fence. I think they're dangerous. It's interesting you bring up this topic because I was at Honda or Moto Adelaide today and having the exact same discussion with the guy on one of the guys that worked there.
Okay.
And he said Adelaide had a lot of deaths last year, 22 of them.
Yeah.
2 of them were caused by medical incidents, like one was a stroke, one was a heart attack. But most of the others were due to rider error. Either the rider being very too fast, just being stupid, doing wheelies, stuff like that. So, in that respect, it's not the actual motorbike, but it's the rider.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's my stance too. Like, it depends how you ride it.
Yes, but the issue is, like, a couple of months ago I was hit in my car. Someone came straight through a red light and I was so happy I was in my car and not on my motorbike. Because on my motorbike it probably would have been a very different story. In the car I have all that protection and I wasn't injured. But on the motorbike, it could have been a lot worse. So that's the only thing that I see is you have an awful lot more protection in a car than you do on a motorbike if someone hits you.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I guess we've both got different perspectives because I've never had an accident.
Yes, you're very lucky.
Whereas...
Well, not lucky, but... Well, you are lucky. But...
See, my attitude is motorcycles aren't dangerous unless you ride them dangerously.
That's exactly right. But, as I said before, if someone hits you, I'd rather be... If it's not your fault and someone hits you, which it wasn't my fault the other day in the car, I'm very pleased I was in the car.
When I'm riding a motorcycle, I'm far more aware of everything that's around me because I'm always paying attention.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you are.
And it kind of makes me feel safer in that, like, as far as actually being involved in something, it makes me feel safer. However, yeah, I take your point that you don't have that same amount of protection as a car offers.
But with the accident that I was in, I never saw the lady coming at all.
Yeah.
It was a complete shock. So would have I seen her if I was on the bike? I don't know.
But I think if you're on your bike, you may have done a bit more head checking. You may
Yeah,
have, you know, there's that old saying, like, a green light doesn't mean go, it means go if it's safe to go.
Exactly. Very good point, Mr. Xmas Tree.
So I think, you know, it's like whenever you approach an intersection, even though you've got the right of way, you still need to be aware of, you know, crossing that intersection as long as it's safe to.
And I think you do develop those skills, as you were saying earlier, a lot more on a bike. I think we've got it nailed. I think we've got it nailed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that brings up another point, because I've had another discussion with people, and I said, riding with a bit of fear is good.
Yes.
And she said, no, you can't ride with fear. And I think she misunderstood what I was talking about, because I'm talking about the type of fear which keeps you alive, which keeps you aware, and it's a rational fear. You know, it's a rational fear that a car could pull out and hit you. And so you've got to ride defensively so that doesn't happen. She may have interpreted what I was saying is that you've got to ride scared. And no, you shouldn't ride scared.
No. Fear, I think there is healthy fear.
Yes.
Where you can still do things but be aware of the dangers.
Yes.
Or there's fear that cripples you. And if you had that sort of fear, you just wouldn't get on a bike at all.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. I mean, if you're
Fearful.
scared,
yeah,
you shouldn't be getting on a bike.
Yeah. After I had my motorbike accident, I was a bit fearful for a little while, but I think that's natural. But I just got back on the horse or the motorbike. And built my confidence up again gradually.
We do occasionally want to feel the speed and feel the limits of our bike a little bit, but there's a time and place to do that. Personally, I would never do it when there's traffic. If there's cars around, they could anticipate that you're travelling at the speed limit, which they should do. For example, I saw a video the other day of when somebody died because they were speeding and there was a car up ahead making a right-hand turn, which means it was cutting across the road in front of the motorcycle. Now, if that motorcycle was travelling at the proper speed, at the speed limit, that car would have easily made that turn before the bike even got there.
And I think that's hard for the driver, because the driver, just seeing one bright light, sometimes it's hard to know where that motorbike is. And if they're speeding, like really quick, they don't have time to, you know, because I know the video you're talking about, and that guy was going seriously fast. So they don't have time to react, or do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I think the people that hit him, it was a big surprise that he was there, and I think that's because he was going so fast.
And you actually do feel when you're driving a car like you're in a lounge chair. You're in a lounge chair on wheels, basically. Yeah. So sometimes people relax too much.
Yes, you're right. I do a lot of driving for my job, and sometimes you do just relax, and you do not, you know, pay as much attention as you should.
Yeah.
And so many people are on their mobile phones illegally. I have mine on hands-free, so if someone rings me, I can push a button like you do with, you know, it's on the steering wheel, it's designed for that, and you can talk to them. But I see a lot of people texting and all that sort of stuff, and it really does frustrate me. Can you hear the beautiful rasp of my bike back there?
I can't really, because I've got my earplugs in and everything, so...
For the sake of the video.
Oh.
Okay. Can you hear the beautiful rasp of my bike
Oh,
back
it's
there?
beautiful.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks. I put a bit of wood in my backpack, my pack today.
Yeah. A bit of wood.
You know, a bit of like a plank of wood. So that
You're going to do a bit of whittling.
no, if my
You brought your knife, your pocket knife. You're going to whittle it down.
no, I put it in there because I know this is quite a grassy camping area.
Oh, okay.
And my bike tends to it tends to sink in, you know, the stand tends to sink in.
Yeah. I think they've designed, you know, mine does the same thing if I'm not careful. It's
Yes,
because it's
yours,
like, you know, we've got these heavy bikes, and the
Yeah.
side stand's like a little, tiny little pin, you know, it's like, they need to put bigger feet on these side stands, and I think.
Yeah, I want to buy, you can buy bigger feet that you can bolt to them
Oh, okay.
off eBay. But I haven't got one, so plank of wood will do. Yours went to sleep once. Your bike laid down to have a sleep, didn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I stopped in this car park, and it was a gravel, you know, just gravel car park, and I thought, oh, you know, the gravel should be able to be firm enough to hold my bike up. But the side stand just sank right into it. It's because it was actually newly laid gravel, and the ground underneath was all soft. So yeah, I was a little bit upset about that.
I remember I stopped at someone's driveway, put my bike, you know, on the side stand, turned around, and it was slowly sinking in. And luckily someone was there and they caught it, otherwise it would have fallen over as well.
Caught it?
Or they were behind it, so they grabbed it before it fell over.
Yeah, you've got to be careful you don't do your back end doing that as well.
Oh no.
Sometimes,
Yes, no you
sometimes it's safer just to let things fall if they're heavy. I remember I used to work at this lawnmower place with Rhino lawnmowers, and they were lifting a lawnmower up on a forklift, and I'd forgotten to put the brake on the lawnmower, and it started to roll off the crate.
Oh.
And so I was almost going to rush up and stop it from falling. But the forklift driver was smart enough to tell me to get back and not do that, because if it's things like that can kill you.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, if you're underneath it, or if if my leg somehow got in a position where the rider mower fell on it, they could have broken my leg or something. So yeah, sometimes if something's going to fall over, it's but certainly if you catch your bike soon enough, if you see it start to lean or something like that, that's probably...
Well, mine was on a hill once, facing down, and I had it in neutral, and it started to roll, and it was about to fall over, and if it had fallen over, it would have knocked 10 other bikes over with it. Whatever you call it. Oh, where am I going?
Yep.
Sorry. I thought I was at a different corner.
Oh, okay.
My mistake.
That's okay, I'll forgive you.
Oh, thanks.